Hey everyone, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah or whatever you may celebrate. And this year I was thinking a lot about the types of gifts people are giving, each other and their kids, considering how advanced technology has become, and it continues to advance each year. And it seems nowadays that's all that kids want are smartphones or tablets or VR goggles, now that those are the fairly newest things. Or if it's not that, it's a game console. Last year it was everyone wanted a drone to fly around. There's a lot of good in technology, but there can be a lot of problems that can come with that as well. And I'm going to be discussing that today. So, parents out there, be careful what your children wish for. Be mindful of how much quality time you spend with them instead of with your own tech gadgets. With that said, be careful what you give them each year for Christmas, Easter, their birthday, or any other time of the year. Unless your child is old enough to drive a car at age 16, you should not buy them a smartphone or a tablet that can make phone calls. Here are the main reasons you shouldn't. The following will eventually happen if you are not careful. Giving your child a smartphone influences more dependency instead of enjoying being in the moment with their peers, team, and teachers at school, and even with their parents and their siblings. Kids need a chance to grow up trusting their own instincts and going to the nearest trusted adult or supervisor if they run into trouble. A phone call will not protect them the very second they make that call, but a trusted adult or a group of friends and people nearby will. If any child feels they are in danger, the first thing they should do is run into a public populated location asking a trusted adult or authority for help. Once they are out of harm's way, then is the time that they can make a phone call from a landline phone from a nearby business. Not from just anyone's smartphone, since technology has the ability to locate addresses from a phone number nowadays. It can be a scary world out there, but if you are a helicopter parent with a lot of anxiety about what is going on in your kid's life anytime they're at one of their events or at school, then you or someone else should be there watching your kids to show them support. But trust me, kids don't always need or sometimes even want their parents at their events, especially if their parent is one of those crazy, loud, controlling stage parents. It is healthy for kids to have moments when they can express doing things on their own without mommy or daddy holding their hand everywhere they go. They will thank you for it in the long run. Overall, the dependency of smartphones teaches kids anytime they want or need something, all they have to do is call their parents. In turn, that learned behavior very well may develop a boomerang child, meaning once they are adults and old enough to live on their own, they may want to either live with mom and dad as long as they can, or they will come back when times are rough. That will happen if their parents cave in too easily and allow their children to have what they want, when they want, or whatever they need at any time. Smartphones are an open invitation to dependent and irresponsible behavior, not just for making phone calls at the touch of a button at any time or any moment, but also for texting when they're not supposed to, in places where that can be a danger to them, or being able to film anyone or anything at any time they choose, even during inappropriate times, like when someone is hurt or in danger, or they are filming doing something really stupid just for likes on social media. The bottom line is, kids need to experience growing up being a kid and what it means to experience independence, time away from their parents. It helps them grow up to be more mature, responsible, confident adults later in life. I know this because I was there without all the technology. The way my oldest brother put it is smartphones and any kind of phone or cell phone is kind of like a digital electronic leash. So it's like an attachment. They can't get away from it. The only time anyone should need a smartphone is when they are at the very least 16 years old and have their own car and license. If you are a fairly new parent, you'll know exactly why all this is so important later on. If you have teenagers or young adults all grown up already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Last but not the most important, the last toy store giant, Toys R Us, is going bankrupt because most kids want tech gadgets like their parents nowadays. If parents keep buying their kids tech gadgets, they will have to order toys online instead of being able to go to the nearest toy store. And that could very well cost them a lot of money in shipping costs. Not to also mention a lot of the porch thieves that are going around all over the world nowadays. And believe me, packages are getting stolen by the thousands. And that's nothing to take lightly. With that said, you can take that advice or leave it. It's your choice ultimately whether you want to get your kids a smartphone or tablet or not. But if you do, be sure to set some rules and boundaries so that they know when and where and how they can use it at the right times. And the same goes for you. If you see your kid is needing or wanting some attention from you, don't drown yourself in your phones or your tablets or computer. Be sure you spend as much time with your kids as possible. Don't take your kids for granted. Get off your smartphones and devices and computers. Spend more time with them. And the same goes for your kids. Make sure you have them turn off their phones and talk with you and spend time with you. Spend time together. Don't take each other for granted. There are plenty of people out there that don't have the privilege of having kids of their own. Please just use your smart devices responsibly if you have them and if your kids have them. And be sure you set those rules. Otherwise, it will get out of control really fast and you will regret it. So with that said, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be wise. Be sure to buy age-appropriate gifts if your kids are not old enough yet to drive a car or have their own license. Overall, it's your choice. But just know this, with great power comes great responsibility. I know how cheesy that sounds, but it's true. There's a lot of power in smartphones and computers and devices, and you got to use it responsibly and be wise with it. It's a tool and it's not a toy. Just remember that, okay? Thanks for listening.